My name's Traylin Martin. I'm from Faith, South Dakota, and I'm a professional saddle bronc rider. I turned 18, 28th of September of 2021, and as soon as I woke up, I filled out my paperwork, got it all filled out, sent in for my permit in the PRCA. I've wanted to do this since, as probably my first memories, if I'm being honest. So, sent it in right away. I was just ready to go. They got it filled out that day, and I entered my first pro rodeo on my birthday. It was really cool. My first pro rodeo ever was in Indianapolis, Indiana, during the FFA, the National FFA Convention, I believe. And man, that whole drive, I don't think I've ever been that ready for a rodeo in my life. I was pumped up. I was ready to go. Shoot, there's like 10,000 people there. It was big and it was cool. It got so loud in there that you couldn't hear yourself think. It sent shivers down your spine. It was a heck of a first pro rodeo. I drew a pretty good course called Custom Craft, and started her really good, but we hit the fences. We came off, it was like 74, nothing special, but just getting off after 8, making the whistle on my first horse ever was pretty cool. It was a rocky road after that. Winter rodeos are really hard to get into, and being a permit holder with no money won, I didn't get into anything. The first rodeo I even got into was Odessa, Texas in January, 3 months after my first one. I was antsy and willing and ready to go. I was getting on practice horses twice, 3 times a week if I even could, just to get the edge off. First time flying, going to Odessa, Texas, got stuck in Denver, didn't get to go to that one. Had a really good horse drawn. I was really bummed out, and I didn't have any more rodeos until the end of the month. So I think the biggest part that was hard for me was the waiting, because I felt ready to go. I was mentally ready. I just wasn't getting into stuff. Finally, end of the month, I was at a practice pen, had some of my good buddies here, and got a call to get into Kalispell, Montana, end of January. Second pro rodeo ever. I was excited, and I left that night after I got on 2 horses. I drove all night. It was like 15 hours up there. I didn't care. I was ready to go. First Extreme Broncs, and had a bunch of fun up there. Didn't end up getting in the money, but I just got on. And, to see all the hard work that I put in start to come to fruition was really cool. I picked up my first sponsor, Mona Angus. The next day, I was at the Rapid City Extreme Broncs helping out some buds, and they told me, hey, we want to pick you up. So that was really cool, to be a kid who hadn't made a big impact in the pro rodeo world yet and have someone see me and be like, hey, we want to sponsor you. It was really cool. And thank goodness, went next weekend, went to the Bucking Horse Sale in Rapid City, won good old $900 check or something like that. Ran to Bismarck, North Dakota the next day and had 447 Capone of Bailey Rodeo, which is a really cool horse. You can't ask for a cooler horse, and went up there and ended up winning it with a 79-point ride. And getting off that horse and hearing the score, it was like a little achievement box just got marked inside of my head. I was so excited. And shoot, I was ready to go, filled my permit. Next week, I got some stock callbacks, and I had Flirtatious, which has been to the NFR like 4 or 5 times. They go 90 on her all the time. Drew her up in Jackson, and I couldn't just wait on my permit all year, so I felt ready. I felt willing, so talked it over with my family, and I bought my card, my rookie card, and was like, I'm ready to go. Drawing good, I'm riding good, I've put in the work, I feel ready. Flew to Jackson, all week long, all I thought about was getting on Flirtatious. I was dreaming of her, and flew down there, was with Cole Elshier, talked it over with Ben Anderson, a couple of them guys, and, I knew what to give her. Had a little bobble at the start of the shoot, and I marked her out twice and got behind her, but, made the best ride I could, but she got me at 7.98, I think is what the official clock said. And they marked her 46, which is pretty dang high on the stock side. And I think the worst part of bucking off her was walking past the judge and him telling me that he scored her 46, that he was gonna match me with her, which that broke me a little bit. I would have been in the 90s, and that's another big achievement I want to reach sometime. That kind of threw me into a little spiral, and I ended up getting into a bit of a slump after that. You know, I came off a couple horses at my next couple rodeos, and my first card rodeo I bucked off, and then started messing with stuff, messing with my saddle. You know, my mental game was a little out of whack. I just wasn't riding. I didn't look like the normal Traylin Martin I was used to. Wasn't confident, just wasn't prepared to ride anywhere. And it took me 2.5 months of fiddling around to finally get out of that slump. Putting my work in every day, you know, doing whatever God told me to do. He's the only one I could have looked at during those times, because I think that was the lowest I've ever been. I don't think I've bucked off like that ever. I felt ready, and I was just wondering why I was called to go for it this year when it wasn't coming to fruition, when I was actually going for it. I had to keep going. You know, rookie season, you can't just, you know, stop. Hey, I need to go home and fix this. You got to keep going. And that's what I did. You know, pockets were a little sore, but I was working as hard as I could during the week to make enough to pay for the weekend runs, even if it wasn't happening. You know, I was talking with my dad a lot, trying to fix my mental stuff. And I was down south for a run and got beat up pretty bad and at a couple rodeos. And I was going to Rodeo Austin. It's a major rodeo, something that I've dreamed of riding at. Had a good horse drawn, and just mentally was handicapped. And it was really cool, actually. My dad surprised me. He flew down to Austin and showed up at my hotel room, at my room, knocking on it, and said, "Hey, I'm here. Let's go ride a bucking horse." And that was really cool. He helped me get my saddle set, get my mind in check. Showed up next day. I felt back to me, you know, and nodding on that horse, climbing in, nodding. And he took a rear out. I stuck the mark out, and from that moment on, I knew I had her. It's a feeling for a couple months there I'd missed and forgot why I rode broncs. Stepped off, took a kneel, gave the glory to God, because He's the only reason got off on the pickup, man, you know. I wasn't anything major. He kind of quit me at the end. They marked me 74 or something like that, but I was back, you know, and that momentum carried on. On the practice pen, I was riding good again. I was getting into more rodeos, made good rides, made a good ride in San Angelo, was out of the money at a couple of them, but kept on running. And finally, you know, in St. Paul, Minnesota, won my first check on my card. Got on a really cool horse at Barnes Rodeo and just got tapped. And it felt amazing. And ever since then, I've just been me again. I went to Kansas City and Guyman, Oklahoma last weekend. Got on old Spanish Onion at Corco's, and she kind of manhandled me, but that was kind of expected. And then I drew a good one in Guyman, and she kind of ran off, got a re-ride. Stuff happened in back chutes and got saddled up, and shoot, I think it was a minute and a half, and got tapped off on one, rode him really good, landed on the fence a little earlier than 8, but I mean, I'm just mentally there. I'm mentally confident again. I'm riding good. I'm just trusting God's plan, because, you know, it's gonna break loose sometime. I'm putting in the work. I'm putting in the time. I'm just gonna keep going, keep shooting for the stars. I still got a lot of rodeo left. I got summer runs planned over the course of the next few weeks here. I'm running to Texas this weekend for a few with a buddy of mine down there. I got Ogallala, Nebraska the day before my graduation, so I get to drive overnight to make it back just to walk. Hopefully get into Deadwood and some of them cooler South Dakota Bronc matches. Then I got high school rodeo. I'm still doing that. Last 3 years, that state title has gotten away from me in the short round. I've wasted it all 3 years, gotten bucked off, and I'm capable of winning it. I just got to prove to myself. So I'm doing it one more year. I'm thinking about 4-H rodeoing as well. I've won a state title there the last 2 years, and if I win that this year, I'll be the first one ever in South Dakota's history to win 3. That's just something personal, something cool that I'll always look back on. So I think I'm going to do that along with rodeoing just about as hard as I can in the pro rodeo ring of things, getting my qualifications, getting my connections, and just riding, seeing how it goes. It's my rookie year right now. I'm top 10 in the Badlands circuit, top 15 in the Rookie of the Year race, and top 100 in the world. I got some big goals, and I could go on and on telling you all about it, but I'd rather show you. So, God willing, this is for him. Let's see what he has in store for me next.